Alright there, my name's Ragtag and I'm the best Gatia gamer in the world, Lord of the Losers, the Prince of the Passables, outstandingly ordinary, the self-proclaimed saviour of Apex Legends, and by saviour I mean I'm probably one of the last content creators still playing this dead game, but anyway, today I'm going to help you all by drawing on my powers contained within the infinite realm of normality to shower you all with knowledge so that you can learn from my horrific gameplay to improve your own. Now there are people out there, not you by the way, you're a bag of shite, but the mechanically gifted who just find their way around these kind of games with little need for thought other than little adjustments that automatically integrate themselves into an ever-learning machine. They don't think too much about what they're doing, but the natural experience of combat just hones their reflexes and decisions into an unconscious process that all adds up to them basically just being a lot better than you in every single way, to the point where you spectate them afterwards just to make sure they weren't hacking, and would they not just toggle it off once they realise you're spectating anyway? Right, so you, me, and millions of other stone-cold losers that have no chance whatsoever of receiving a streamlined assimilation of natural skill being intravenously fed, we have to look back with retrospect to fix our problems. So let's get this video going with 5 toxic reasons you still suck at Apex Legends. Number 1, you don't make the switch. Now the switch is something I've only started doing recently, and it is where you take a look at everything you've accrued in your epic journey so far, whether it's the start, the middle, or the end, it doesn't actually matter, and then you discard it because time is precious. Enemies are everywhere and you don't have time to wait for a shield battery because, well, they're coming, and when they do, you take your purple armor and you drop kick it across airbase if it means winning a fight, because only the clever fox accepts that survival trumps stubbornness every single Now you could say that when the enemy on the right approached me, the Havoc would have been a better choice than the EVA 8 because I might get more than 7 damage, and yes, maybe I did give 1 bar of a purple body shield to the enemy on the left who was naked as a newborn before that, but when you are one against many whilst trying to graduate from Lobotomy Academy, we're just gonna glaze over those and say that it's not that kind of video. I'm here to berate, inspire, conceptualize, and throw out other terms that detract away from my shyness to illustrate the point that you should be supporting creators like me by heading over to that join button down there and get yourself some funky icons that will grow you a majestic beard across the months. And I'm going to drop some content that either the algorithm or advertisers really don't appreciate. Sometimes it'll be bloopers, extra sweary versions of my videos, and other times it will just be a game that YouTube won't recommend to you because, well, you didn't subscribe for that, you subscribed for Apex Legends.
You get out of your car and let me explain to you what red means when you get to it.
Hey man, my wife's about to have a baby.
Anyway, what was I? Yeah, make the switch. Don't hang on to your Havoc with a turbocharger if you can't find energy ammo and your other weapon is like a wingman or a shotgun and it's getting low on ammo. When you're approaching a dangerous situation, better just to switch out what isn't able to provide your balls with the protection they seek and swallow that pride, because if you don't, you'll be swallowing something else. Number 2, you're getting outmaneuvered. This happens to me every time I die to someone with like 20,000 kills. They choose when to engage and I'm instantly dead. If I get the jump on them, they turn around and I get keyhole surgery right up my one-eyed snake hole. But sometimes, just sometimes, I win the early part of a fight with them, and by sometimes I mean like 1% of the time. But when this happens, they may retreat around the corner, up a building, up a tree, they somehow use the terrain to give them enough time to slide and heal, and then they take the high ground over whatever it was, or end up inside a building, trap me with a fucking grenade, and just making more of the obvious decisions in terms of how to chase someone and their low HP bum crack a little bit more difficult. But look, here's the most important thing when you get outmaneuvered and smashed by someone with thousands of kills. Your fragile ego is splitting your cock in half with that loss, so you have to protect it by calling them a no-life, try-hard virgin, and that way you can mitigate the pain of death. Save face to your friends who have no idea just how useless you really are, and move on with... Oh, do you know what? I'm thinking of turning this into an autobiography. Number 3, fight or heal. I think a lot of people struggle with one simple question, which is, am I of more use to my team with 50 HP and no shields but 2 fully loaded guns ready to rock the enemy's cock? Or should I heal up because I'm a liability about to get my head taken off by that dude with the peacekeeper around the corner? The answer, of course, is always to YOLO. But there are legitimate times when you know that sometimes it is better to 1v2 with full health because your random teammate is about as useful as a red light in GTA. Number 4, your distance judgments suck. A lot of the time, number 3 makes way for judging distance because the longer it takes you to decide whether or not to stay or run, the harder it gets to work out whether or not you can judge the distance your enemies are from you and how long it will take them to close the gap on your bleeding rectum. Every time I watch back my games, I always look at it and think, wow, yeah, I just sat in that room and did nothing for 1 to 5 seconds while I worked out what the fuck I was going to do next. Which almost always got me killed, by the way. So now that I'm holding myself accountable for that bullshit, hopefully I'll stick to that while I'm on live stream, which, by the way, is coming back to YouTube. I've just been struggling with quality control as it's artifacting all over the place. It looks like 240p, but for some reason it looks absolutely fine on Twitch, which is actually where you'll find me until I fix this little issue. But when it comes to things such as, will I make it across this zip line without getting popped in the back of the head, or can I make it from this building to the next one? That really depends on the mechanical skill and awareness of your enemy. For judging distance, you need to factor in sliding, mobility from whoever you're fighting, where they are in relation to you, especially if it's Octane or Pathfinder. To be honest with you, even Bangalore can surprise you. If she's getting shot at while you decide to squat down and take a quick shite while you're having your Phoenix kit, she might talk you to death with her fucking tutorials. Now, one of the problems with Apex Legends in general is audio positioning. It's fucking terrible and you can't use it as a fully reliable indicator because the levels just don't match according to distance and its detection levels that are absolutely horrific when it comes to your own squad mates' noises as well. So just don't rely on it. So instead, just assess who it is, where they are, what they're going to do when they get to you. And the answer is, of course, you need to get ready for the next game because let's face it, you're shite. Number 5, you're still not using double massive? Now, you might have seen my recommendation several videos ago for double shotgun, but it turns out you need 2 of these bad boys if you ever want to win a game again in your life. Yeah, that's it for now. Join me on live stream on a platform that rhymes with bitch before I get myself banned for excessive use of words that rhyme with
blunt, brunt, front, grunt, hunt, runt, shunt.